Hello everyone. So today in this video we are going to see one another important feature of the constraint layout, right? So here for the demonstration I took three buttons, right now I have cleared all the constraints. Okay, so here you can see that you can just provide the constraint to all the controls, like suppose say control A, and from here so it can be provided to all the controls, right? So right now I'm not doing that. Instead of that, I'm going to select all these three buttons and just going to create the horizontal chain, right? So right now you can see that when I have created the horizontal chain, so let me zoom it little bit. So here you can observe that, so these particular chain kind of things are there, right? So you can observe whenever I mouse over it, right? So now all these three buttons are created with the horizontal chain, right? So here in this constraint layout, whenever you are dealing with chains, then you have a different chain modes, right? So when I again go to then chains, right, and now you can see now I don't have the option for creating horizontal chain, right? So because I have already selected it, right, but I am having another option, that is horizontal chain style. So there are three types: spread inside, and packed, right? So by default it is as a spread. So suppose if I click this, so it will not affect, right, because it is the default one, right? But instead of that, I'm just going over here and I'm just going to select spread inside. So you can see that it can stretch toward the particular parents and both from left and right? So this is the spread inside. Next I'm going to just select chains again, chain style, and packed, right? So you can observe that all the things are going to be connected, right? It's in a packed mode, right? So this is the horizontal chain style. So suppose say for example, if I'm just going for another button, right, and I'm just going for another button over here, right? So similarly to this horizontal chain, you can just going to select these three buttons and you just create the vertical chain. So here you can just go over there. As usual, there is no horizontal options. We have only one option, that is create vertical chain. So this is the beauty of this Android Studio IDE, right? So you can understand easily. So now I created the vertical chain. Again, whenever you have created the vertical chain, then you will have the options like spread inside, and packed, right? So as I told you that spread is the default one, then spread inside is like this. So your controls are going to be stretched. Let me zoom out, right, so you can see easily. Okay, and when I click on these vertical chains as a packed, right, so you can see all the buttons are now connected with each other. Okay, so this way guys, you can create the horizontal and vertical chain, and you will have a three different modes, that is a spread inside, and the packed, right? So now one another thing I want to discuss with you guys over here, that let me remove this and let me set this again as a default one. So that is a spread, right? Okay, now one another option I'm going to show over here in this video is that the weighted one, right? So what is the meaning of weighted, right? So here suppose for to avail that particular weighted option, you just need to make any of these particular button size as a particular match constraint, right? So 0 dp. So now when I do this, you can see this particular button contains the particular area, right? So here what happens over here, for this you just need to go to the XML portion again, right? So here you can see that whenever I choose this, right, so here two options you will have. One is this particular change style. So from here also you can just deal with that particular options, that is spread inside and all that, right? So right now it is a weighted, so it is not going to affect that because it does not have that particular space, right? So from here also you can change it. You can just try it out as an assignment from yourself, right? So just I'm going to display over here that here I have make this particular button as a 0 dp, okay, right? So this particular button as a 0 dp. So if I'm just going to provide this as again button 3 as a 0 dp, right? So now you can observe that these two buttons are getting equal space, right? Suppose if I'm going to give this button another different weight, right? So just going to provide the weight like weight. So here you will have two options, that is horizontal weight and vertical weight. So if you have created the horizontal chain, then you can assign the horizontal weight, and if you have created a vertical chain, then you can give the vertical weight, right? So right now I'm just going to give the horizontal weight, right, and I'm going to give it to the 2, right? So you can observe that this particular button has covered all the space, that button is not visible properly, right? And vice versa, right? So if I'm just going to give all these three button a equal weight, then they are going to get the same weightage, right? So that's a 1. So here again I'm just going to define the weight over here, that is also 1, right? So you can observe that, and just I'm going to define one another. So for that you have to make this as a 0 dp, right? So that's why you can just remember the style and then define the weight as a 1. So now you can see all the three buttons have equal weights, right? So here you can observe the things, guys, like you can just provide the weighted ones, right? Either it's a horizontal or it's a vertical. So according to your design requirement you can choose this particular things, right? One another important thing you need to remember over here, that here whenever you are having this particular chain style, right? So this one first from the left side, whatever first view is there, whether it's a button or any other control, it's a head, right? And similarly from for vertical one, so if I'm putting this button over here, right, vertically, right? So here from the top this particular button is the head one, right? So from that you can choose any of these. So why I'm giving you the term as a head, right? Because you can see here, so you can observe that only this button has a chain style, right? So that is a spread. You can observe over here there is no chain style provided in two other buttons. So just because this is a weight head one, right? So this you need to remember, okay? So here you can just use a packed, right? So that also packed because all these have equal weightage, so we are not just going to observe the things, right? Okay, so if you remove the weight and do that, and you will get the particular things, right? So just keep it as a spread, right? And you can just do the things. So that's it, guys, for this chain, right? So this horizontal and vertical chain are also very important in our constraint designs, right? So thank you for